Sharon Stone says she is not thrilled about the re-release of her film Basic Instinct. We all remember this infamous scene where Sharon uncrosses her legs while being questioned, but now she told an Australian TV show that the new version may be even more graphic. Watch.
They've decided to release the director's XXX cut for the 30th anniversary. Yeah, your face is what my face looked like when I heard the news.
Wow. In her recent memoir, Sharon said she was caught off guard and felt exploited when she saw how much the scene showed, and even slapped the director after watching a preview back then. We do have the director now speaking out. I mean, this is all, fresh. He spoke out today saying that, no, it was all arranged. She even had to set up the cameras as such, and that she gave her consent. So now it's become a he said, she said, Erica.
I think what is really important is what Sharon Stone, the person whose body is being exposed, has to say about it now, seeing as how there's a re-release happening. And I'm sorry, didn't we go through like a whole Me Too movement? Aren't we still in the middle of it? So the idea that someone's wishes to continue or to conceal parts that haven't been shown of their body isn't being respected feels very predatory.
I totally agree with Erica. I don't think it's necessary unless you're talking finances, right? If he wants to make some money, the way to resell it is this scene, right? This is the scene of top 20, maybe all-time movie scenes. So if he wants to sell this movie, he's got to do something that's a little different that you wouldn't normally see. But I agree with Erica. The time we're going through, is this the time to put together a little money to make a little extra cash at someone's wishes if you don't want to?
Well, yeah, because all money ain't good money.
Very true. And Al, even if she gave her consent back then.
An uncomfortable question, Sam?
What's that?
Can I ask an uncomfortable question?
Yes,
please. We've all been on sets, movie sets, television sets. We all know how lighting works. Usually you're in your trailer or just sitting somewhere while they're lighting. To light a scene in which the lower half of your body is going to be shown takes some time. It's not something that you could normally sneak and do. And that was what Paul Verhoeven, the director, his point was. So none of us were there. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I think the question does have to be asked, how do you get a shot like that without it being lit and without the person being asked to remove their underwear and then asked to open and then close their legs? I would think once anybody did that, they would realize that there was at least a chance that they could be shown in that way.
I think that's a great, go ahead, Erica.
I mean, we can talk about this as if that happened yesterday, but the truth is it happened over 30 years ago, and there are a lot of decisions that I know myself. I don't know if other people had super great decisions that they were making 30 years ago, but I certainly wouldn't want those things revisited as if that's who I am today. And the ability to advocate for myself, or the idea of this is just a different world that we live in, or where she is in the world. Like, some people have done things and they weren't intentionally done in order to mar themselves or to sacrifice their souls. But after they've gotten to a place where they have total autonomy over their creative and over their person, then they start to protect those who don't have it now. So I think it's very important that Sharon Stone is having this conversation and saying, I'm not okay with this. And I think it's important that we see it for what it is. It's an exploitation of a moment that was made 30 years ago, whether she was 100% on board with it or not.
See, that's my point really quickly before we move on. If someone gives consent 30 years ago, in my opinion, that consent, especially if they're going to tweak it, shouldn't be ironclad. You should have the decency and the respect to say, okay.
I don't know about that, Sam.
You wouldn't have the decency and the respect to say, okay, we are editing. This is the new edit. It's been 30 years. I would love to have your opinion on this since it's your body. That would be the right thing to do.
If you ask for consent and it is granted, that is what we are trying to make ironclad in our society, and I'm all for that. But if you have something that's ironclad, an agreement saying, I consent, okay, you consent, I consent, and then that somehow expires over time like a magazine membership, then what is the point of consent
but this
if
it
can change at any point?
This is a new version of it. She gave her okay to the old version. This is a new version. This should be a whole different contract, in my opinion.
Look, I don't know about contracts. I just don't understand how something this kind of black and white, two people could have such very different versions.
Right.
And it would be nice if somebody on that set would step up and kind of clear it up, because we definitely have two sides.
Right.